Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, dear students, in our lesson. Today, inshallah, we will continue the expansion unit. We started the expansion units 4 to 6 last class. Today, inshallah, we will cover lesson 2, the reading, okay? Inshallah, by the end of our lesson, you will be able to read about adventure trips, scan the reading for details, and also answer questions related to the text, okay? We will have some questions and we will answer it based on the text. We will discuss the topic together, inshallah. Okay, before we start, I gave you homework page 129 and 130. Okay, the first exercise, complete the sentences. Use expressions of quantity. He wants you to use the expressions of quantity. Like, can you give me examples of expressions of quantity? A little, a few, many, excellent, much. These are examples of expressions of quantity. If you haven't done the homework, I'm sure you did, pause the video, try to answer the questions from 129 to 130, and let's see the answers together. Okay, for number 1, I'm on a diet, so I only eat a little ice cream. Not only a little we can use. Ice cream, it's uncountable noun. We can use other expressions of quantity that can work with the uncountable nouns. This is not the only word we can use, okay? Number 2, I don't use much salt. Salt also uncountable. I really don't like it. 3, did you get enough pineapple? Pineapple is countable or uncountable? Countable, excellent. If you want more, I have another one in the refrigerator. 4, I only eat a few eggs. Eggs is countable. We can use expressions that work with the countable nouns each week. Number 5, how many? Because papayas are countable. Number 6, wow, that's hot. Did you put a lot of pepper in the soup? So, pepper is countable or uncountable? Uncountable noun. Excellent. 7, we use how much because butter is uncountable noun. 8, the last one, I don't like this restaurant's menu. There aren't many appetizers on it, okay? Now let's see exercise B. Complete the conversation. We have a conversation. You have to use something, anything, or nothing, okay? Let's see the answers together. So for number 1, we put something. Number 2, anything. Number 3, we put nothing. Number 4, anything. 5, something, okay? These are the answers for your homework. You already did the homework. You can discuss the answers with your friends. Now we have in exercise C, write a recipe. Do you remember when we wrote recipes in our lessons before? Put the expressions from the list in a correct order. Use the sequence words in your sentences. So we have these steps. We have to write down the recipe. We have to use the expressions. Like what? Sequence words, like what? Can you give me examples? We can say first, second, third, finally, after that, then. These words, we can use it to write down the recipe in a paragraph, okay? Let's see the answer. First, crack 4 eggs into a bowl. Then, stir the eggs for 1 minute. After that, pour the eggs into a frying pan. Finally, cook the eggs for 3 minutes. Okay, so we wrote down the steps and we used the sequence words here. Okay. Exercise D, use each group of words to write 2 sentences. Use the present perfect for 1 sentence, and the other sentence you have to use the simple past. So you will write 2 sentences, one with the present perfect and the other one with simple past. This is the example. We have Badriya visit the museum last year. Badriya has visited. We use the verb in has, have, or verb 3 also with it to form the present perfect, the museum. And then we use the verb in the past tense, and we included last year. With the present perfect, we didn't include it because usually we use the expressions like for and since with the present perfect. We don't mention the exact time in the past, like the past tense, okay? We have this example, طارق and Saeed eat at the Indian restaurant last Thursday night. So you have to form two sentences. Let's see it together. The first one, طارق and Saeed have eating at the Indian restaurant. طارق and Saeed ate, this is the past tense. And then we mentioned last Thursday night, okay? Number 2, if you haven't done, you can read these examples to your friend. You can compare your sentences. You can discuss why. And we will just read the examples. 2, we have gone sightseeing in Egypt. We went sightseeing in Egypt during our vacation in 2009. Number 3, Ali hasn't taken chemistry with Mr. Faris. Ali didn't take chemistry with Mr. Faris this past year. Okay, now for exercise E, write 2 sentences. Also, you will write 2 sentences, okay, for each situation. So we have every situation, you will write a sentence for it. Use the present perfect plus sense in for. So we will use 2 sentences. One sentence using sense, and the other sentence we will use it with for. Okay? Both sentences we will use the present perfect. Okay? So we have Sultan started to exercise on September 5th. Today is December 5. This is the situation. Like, what is the sentences he gave us? He has exercised since September. He has exercised for 3 months. So we used since and we used for. Okay? For number 1, let's see the answer. He has driven this new car since Monday. He has driven his new car for 5 days. Okay? We used it once with since and the other one with for. Number 2, we have Noura and Amal. They have studied French since 7th grade or for 3 years. Number 3, we have lived in our house since I was 3 years old or for 13 years. You can use it with since and for like this. Now for exercise F, write questions. Here we have to form questions using how long. Okay, we will ask about the duration. We have you play video games. How long have you played video games? Okay, this is how we form the question. This is an example. You have it on your book. We have these. Let's see the answers together. For number 1, how long have they lived in Jeddah? And number 2, how long has she been on the phone? How long has Qasim worked at the hotel? And for how long has Khalid spoken Japanese? Now let's move on. We finished the exercises. صح? We did the homework together. Now we will move on to our lesson. Okay? Before we start our lesson, I will ask you this question you can see in front of you here. Why do we write? People, when they write, can you tell me why do they write? Why do they write paragraphs or letters or text? For what? Why do we usually write? For homework, this is one reason. To give advice, excellent. To persuade other people of your opinion. So these are examples. We use it to persuade the reader, to convince the reader, to tell them our opinion, and they will understand. This is one reason we write. And also to give the reader information. If he asks for information, we give them information. Like the ones we did in our previous lesson. wrote brochures. Do you remember the brochures we wrote together? It has a lot of information. Do you remember the projects we did together? We provide for the reader, when they read it, there is a lot of information they can gain. صح? This is another reason. To ask the reader to do something, if we want something from another person, like if you want to convince your mother or father to buy something for you or to allow you to do something, you write a letter to them, or you can text them to ask them for something. To give directions. Sometimes we write to give directions. We tell them turn right, turn left. And in our homework before, we wrote to, do you remember the sequence words? We wrote a recipe to, it's similar to directions, to give the steps to do something, صح? We write for many reasons. Every one of us, they write for their own reason. If we look at page 70, can you open your books, page 70? Yes, look at the pictures in front of us. And we have this title, Adventure Trips. When you look at don't read anything. Just look at the pictures and look at the title. What do you think, why did the writer wrote this paragraph? What do you think it has in it? Look at the title, Adventure Trips. What do they give? Do they give us advices? Maybe, we don't know. Maybe there is some advice for adventure trips, and maybe there is some information. They give us information, صح? So we write for many reasons. We guessed maybe it's for information, maybe they give you direction to go somewhere. We will see. We will know why the writer wrote this text when we read it together, okay? Before we read, discuss the pros and cons of the following adventure sports. So we have 3 adventures, each one of them in a paragraph, and he wants you to look at the pros and cons. What does pros and cons mean? The good side of the sport and the negative side, the bad side of this sport. And we have the 3, skydiving. And you can see the picture. What does skydiving mean? What do you think the good things in skydiving? Why do people enjoy this sport? Because the adrenaline rush, maybe. This is one reason. What do you think the downsides, the negative side? Maybe people get scared. Maybe the parachute will not open. We don't know, صح? There are some good and bad things in everything, صح? Biking, can you tell me some of the good things and the bad things in biking? Riding a bike, biking across the country, biking in a long distance away from people. Do you think there are some good things? Yes, there are. Good for your health. Mostly it's based on your health. It's very good for your health to test your patience, to test your limits, صح? And what about the negative things? Can you think about something negative? Maybe something, if you are riding alone, maybe biking alone, maybe something will happen to you and no one around to help you. This is maybe one of the negative things. White water rafting, maybe some people will get injured during this extreme sport. It's very dangerous. You have to be really trained to do these exercises, to these activities and adventures, okay? Now let's look at every paragraph one by one, okay? And we will hear it together, and then we will answer questions. I will give you questions, and you will answer it based on the text in front of you. Let's hear it together. The first one.
Skydiving, flying high in the Rockies, USA. Have you ever dreamed of flying? We can offer you a unique opportunity. SKYHI is top-ranked and is the largest and most reliable skydiving facility in Colorado. Every year, people take more than 35,000 jumps at our facility. Conquer your fear and get an awesome view of the snowy peaks from about 3,000 feet, 900 meters, above the Rockies. For those of you who want to relive your greatest adventure over many years, our camera operator will accompany you and film your own personal jump video, or you can even carry your own camera. Location: 1 hour from Denver, Colorado. Information: www.skyhighdive.com.
Okay. Now, we already heard the text together. Here, I wrote four questions for you to answer it based on the text. You can highlight the answers, okay? What is the name of the company? The question 2, how do you know the company is popular? What information here you know they are popular? How high is the plane when people jump? How high? They mentioned the number. What are the 2 ways you can get a video in your jump, okay? So how do you film your experience? These questions, pause the video, discuss it with your friends, and let's see the answers together. I highlighted here. For the first question, the name of the company is SKYHI. And how do you know it's famous? Every year, people take more than 3,000 jumps at our facility. That's why it's popular. There are many people doing these jumps. How high? The plane, 900 meters or 3,000 feet. What are the 2 ways you can get a video of your jump? You can use your camera. They have a camera operator to film it, or you can use your own camera. This is for the last question. Now let's see the other reading, the second paragraph.
Biking in the Alps, Germany. Pedaling through the Bavarian countryside is the way to go for many visitors. You can bike through green valleys and past rivers, including the Danube, while enjoying rural landscapes and experiencing life in German villages. The trail takes you over the Alps and crosses several mountain passes to Garmisch-Partenkirchen. The town is Germany's most famous winter sports center, close to Zugspitze, Germany's highest mountain. A mountain railway and cable car can take you to the peak. The trip along this scenic road is a real treat. Click here for details. www.pedalps.com.
Okay, we read the text together and we have these questions. Which part of Germany does the bike trip go through? Which part? From the reading you have to answer. What famous river will you see during the bike? They mentioned the name of the river. What is the Garmisch-Partenkirchen? What is this name? It's a name of something in Germany. How can you get to the top of the mountain? These are questions you have to answer it based on the reading, okay? Yalla, let's see the answer. It's highlighted here. For the first question, the Bavarian countryside, this is the trip will go through that. The name of the river is, number 2 is the Danube. This is the name of the river. For question 3, Germany's most famous winter sports center. This is the name of the sport center. And this name is for Germany's highest mountain, okay? The last question, railways and cable car. This is how you can go to the top of the mountain. Okay. Now, for the last paragraph, let's hear it together, and then we will answer the questions we will see in the next slide.
Whitewater rafting, Chile. We invite you to come and explore the best-kept secret of Patagonia, an amazing place where glacial lakes are connected by hundreds of kilometers of rivers. The Futaleufú River offers 40 miles, 64 kilometers, of top whitewater rafting. Come and experience the turquoise-colored rapids rushing through the Andean mountain range. This is the safest ride there is, even for beginners. We've been providing rafting trips for more than 30 years. For more information, click here. www.andesrafting.net.
Okay. we read the text together, and we have these questions. What is special? What is special about whitewater rafting experience in Patagonia? How long is the trip down the river? Can you go on this trip if you've ever never done whitewater rafting before? How do you know? How long has the company been in business? Okay, we will answer these questions based on the text. Read it and try to highlight the answers. Let's see it together. So for the first question, an amazing place where glacial lakes are connected by hundreds of kilometers of rivers. This is the first question. How long the trip? 64 kilometers. Can you go on this trip if you don't have any experience? Yes, even for beginners. They mentioned it's okay to do it if you are not an experienced person, if you are a beginner. How long the company been in business? More than 30 years. Okay? Now, which adventure from the three we read about, which adventure you think you will do? Okay? Which adventure would you like? The skydiving, white water rafting? So it's based, the answer should be based on you, which one you like. Okay? After reading, we have this exercise. After reading, fill in the information from the text. Not all the rows will be filled. خلاص يعني we will not write everything. Okay? What kind of adventure? We have three names here, and we will have their comments. Sometimes people write their comments. What do they think of the trips they did? صح? So we have these three people. They wrote their comments, okay? And we have this table we have to fill in. What did Mitch hear? What did Mitch feel? What kind of adventure did he do? What did Mitch see? So we have to fill it based on the reading, page 71, okay? These are the readings. So you have these comments. This is Mitch Taylor. You have the name here, and you will read it and you fill out the table. And we have Daniel Garcia and Neil. These are the three people you will read about. Pause the video, read it, take your time, fill in the table, and let's see the answers together. So for Mitch, the kind of adventure, he did the skydiving over the Rockies. Okay, this is the adventure he did. Daniel, he did biking in the Alps. Neil, whitewater rafting in Chile. This is the kind of adventure they did. What did Mitch feel? He felt frightened. Daniel felt the breeze on his face, felt tired going uphill. Neil felt scared, felt bumps, spins, and shakes, felt the freezing water. These are the feelings he experienced in his adventure. For what did they hear? He heard the wind rushing by, heard the sounds of nature, the birds, the trees, the water in the streams. From where did I get these answers? Did I made it up? لا, I wrote it based on the comments we read, okay? You have to read the comments so you can write down these answers. What did Neil hear? He heard the sounds of the boat hitting the water. What did Mitch see? Saw the ground getting closer and closer, watched the beautiful landscape below. What did Daniel see? He saw snow on the slopes, so green countryside that was full of wild flowers. But Neil, he didn't mention anything he saw, okay? For the smell, what did they smell? Mitch didn't mention anything. Only Daniel, he smelled the fresh scents of the plants. This is what these answers for after reading question. We will have the last part, the discussion question. What adventure trip do people take in your country? So you have to discuss with your friend. This is a speaking exercise. خلاص, you heard the comments, you read the comments, you read the information from the brochures related to the adventures, and you heard the comments, you read the comments of people who experienced these adventures. Now you have to ask yourself this question. You have to discuss it with your friends. You can use similar vocabulary. Where people do sports. These questions, I wrote it down to help you to ask each other the question to form a conversation with each other. Where people do the sports? Where do you think people in our country, where do they go? Where do they do these adventures? You can see it where? Can you tell me examples? Yes, there are many hiking trips you can take around Riyadh, in Abha, and also in Rabigh. There are many places you can go hiking there around the mountains. How much it costs to do them, the hiking, the skydiving? We have these adventures here in our country. How much do you think it costs? Do you think it costs a lot? Maybe around 200 to 400, it's reasonable price. If they know anybody who has done them. Do you know anyone who did these adventures? Brother, sister, father, relative, friend? Did they experience any of these activities? Did they go do these adventures? What the person said about the experience? What did they say? What is their comments, their feedback? What did they tell you? Did they enjoy it? Did they feel scared? How did they smell? What did they smell? They see similar to the table we did together. Okay, so talk to each other. Try to answer these questions as a discussion. Okay, for your homework, I want you to do page 131. If we want to recall what we covered the reading. We answer questions related to the reading. And also, we discussed the adventure trips. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. And inshallah, I will see you next class.